Beautiful argument.
A great argument because the power of the black
Right.
swan means you cannot have an eclipse without the sun or the moon dropping below the physical geometrical horizon. And we know that if you're 1 foot off the ground, the geometric horizon should be 1.22 miles away. And because we have the black swan observation, the horizon's a lot further. And off the back of that, we know every horizon is not physical. That means that means the sun can never ever go behind any of those moving horizons. See?
So, just out of curiosity, the image where, or the footage where you see further, right? The 10 some odd miles. That's how it's supposed to normally look, right?
Sorry, say that again. I'm distracted with the chat.
Well, when you're that 1 foot observer and you're looking out towards the distance, you
Yeah.
should see easily that 10 miles. That should be normal.
No,
every day.
Not on a ball that has a radius of 39,
I didn't.
59.
No, hold on. Chemo, I never say anything about a ball.
Okay.
I mean, if the Earth's flat, that's
Well,
the
what are you
normal.
arguing for then? How does it work on your model with this geometric horizon and how far we should see?
Well, one, I don't live in a model, so if the Earth's flat, right, that 10 mile observation from like 1 foot, that's the normal, correct?
Wait, what model are you talking for, Dragon?
Are you saying you have no idea of how the world works? Why are you even in this conversation then?
You're not a glober, you're not a flat earther, you've got no model bearded. What are you even talking about?
Well, if the Earth's flat, right, and the person's 1 foot off the water and they're looking out, right, and they're seeing it's that horizon is 10 miles or more away, right? That's normal.
Your mic is gone, Dragon.
I know. I see the damn thing. It keeps fucking turning yellow on me.
But I think you're saying that we can... I don't know what you said about we see further 1 foot, it's 10 miles away or something.
Yeah, if the Earth is flat,
which it is,
that 10-mile observation from 1 foot should be the norm, correct?
Absolutely not, because the horizon fluctuates. It's constantly on the move. And that's why you'll never be able to take any accurate measurements and draw a tangent line to your geometric horizon. Because one day...
I don't know what you mean by that.
So, do you know what a tangent line is?
I do, but how do you draw a tangent line across a flat surface?
Yeah, on flat Earth there are no tangent lines. So,
well, yeah, just explain that to me real quick. How do you draw a tangent line to a flat surface?
Well, that's what I'm asking you. How are you going to do that?
No, you didn't ask me that question. I'm asking you that specific question.
No, I said, how are you going to draw a tangent if the horizon's not physical?
Yeah, I would like a clarification. How do you draw a tangent to a flat surface?
What are you talking about?
You're asking me to do something that doesn't make any sense.
On a globe, there should be...
Dude, Chemo, that argument doesn't work because I'm not a baller.
Yes,
I'm not a
you
glober.
Why are you arguing for it then?
Shut up, Jeremy. Same reason you do.
Hold on. I'm not arguing for a globe. I'm arguing against the flat Earth. Please understand the distinction.
I don't. He's not a glober, Chemo. I don't know.
He's not a glober.
No,
yes,
I'm not a glober.
He's less skeptic, Jeremy. What's wrong with it?
It's weird that y'all keep trying to do that. So again, Chemo, how do I draw a tangent to a flat surface?
He never said that, you weirdo. Why are you being a weirdo?
So why don't y'all address my questions about the flat Earth?
Now.
Not really. Your bag of bullshit doesn't really work with me as far as this stuff's concerned.
Well, it's not that, because obviously we're talking to globe earthers who think they live on a curved surface.
great.
If you
Good
don't
for
think
them.
you live on a curved surface, then great, we've got nothing to argue about. My argument is not with
Yeah.
you.
Oh, I still have things to argue about.
But my argument is not
because
with you, because my argument is with people who think
that's
water can
fine.
curve around the exterior of an object, and they think that the Earth has drop and curvature.
I'm sorry. Are you having difficulty dealing with someone who's not trying to defend the globe? Is that the problem?
My argument is not with you.
That's fine.
Okay.
But I'm asking you questions, and
I
you're
don't have a
having
model,
difficulty.
so
with
you
them.
can't ask me about the flat Earth.
I didn't ask about a model either. I can ask you about the flat Earth. I never asked you about a model.
Okay, go on.
So I asked you about that whole 10-mile observation from 1 foot. Shouldn't that be normal?
10 mile, no, that's not normal, no.
So you're saying we should probably see further?
That you can see closer, further. It depends on the weather.
No. You got to give me something, because you're just being weird about it. You're saying it's constantly moving. Mm-hmm.
Another super chat, yeah. Okay, this is from Truth Nerds again. Thank you very much. I'm sure Jen will be very grateful. He says, this is for $2. He says, who cares about the horizon? WRT Blackpool Tower. Well, Blackpool Tower.
Well, as far
Oh, go on,
go ahead, Kimo.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say in the Blackpool Tower argument, they're trying to draw straight lines to objects we know you shouldn't be drawing straight lines to because the light's bending in between. So that whole argument is just totally flawed and nonsensical at its base.
Which way is the light bending, Jeremy?
Who knows? We know shit's all over the place, and you can't be drawing straight lines. So
You
that
can't say the shit is all
dismisses
over
immediately that argument.
Jeremy, you're giving excuses. You can't say it's going all over the place, but I know it's bending. Which way is it bending? It's your claim.
It's irrelevant on which way it's bending.
Down.
We know that
Jeremy,
it is bending, and we
down.
know that if you try to draw a straight line to something that is not.
Stay down.
If we try to draw a straight line to something that you can't draw a straight line to, then your argument.
So what line should we draw, Jeremy?
Jeremy, do you even know what that means at all when you're saying drawing a straight line?
Absolutely. They pulled up the picture, drew a straight line from the observer to the mountain to Blackpool, and they got straight lines going to them, no?
What are you from the photo? You could just look at the photo and then draw a straight line. I mean, I'm curious because, from the point of the camera to the distance, I want to see that drawn straight line that you claim exists.
Sorry, I was getting my food order. So, yeah, I mean, they're drawing straight lines, and you can see it when they do the orthographic view. They're doing silly things like counting pixels.
Okay, so you're
These are just
saying
the weirdest measurements.
orthographic
They're not even
view-
measurements. They're drawing straight. You can do a measurement, and you need a straight line in your measurement. You
Hold
don't have
on.
straight lines.
Wait, they're drawing straight lines on a flat Earth version, right?
It doesn't matter what model you put in there.
it does.
It doesn't matter what model you put in there because either way, the lines aren't going to be straight, right? Is the light always bending or what?
But you said yesterday, Jeremy, you said that refraction is included in perspective. So why do you complain? It's already included.
Jeremy,
What?
are you saying you can't draw a straight line on an image?
Sure, you can do it on an image, but that doesn't mean that in reality that straight line is leading to or from an object in the distance.
That would make no sense. What you just said doesn't make any sense, by the way.
The light's bending. You draw a straight line to the object that's not really there. It's an apparent position.
That doesn't change the ability to draw a straight line. I don't know where you're getting
Sure,
that
you
from.
can draw a straight line to it, but your lines might be off because we know that the light's bending and that object isn't really at the end of that straight line.
Well, for one, you're
You
making
have a learning issue, or what's the problem here?
You're the one making the fundamental assumption off the get-go what kind of refraction and what the effect would be, how large it is, the magnitude, the distance at which it is.
No, I'm not
In
worried
order-
about that. My main concern is they're
Of
drawing
course you're
straight
not worried
lines
about
when we
facts.
know. My main problem is they're drawing straight lines when they shouldn't be using straight lines since we know the light's bending, correct?
That's not how that works, Jeremy.
So is the light bending?
Where do you think it's supposed
Here
to
it
be?
is. Is the light bending? Simple
Why
question.
does it matter, Jeremy?
Bearded, is the light bending?
Sure.
Why
the
does it
light
matter,
is bending.
Jeremy?
All right. So if I draw a straight line to something in the distance, is that straight line going to be where the object is?
I guess that would depend, wouldn't it? You see, Jeremy, you're not giving any quantifications or even qualifications
I
to
don't
any
need
of
to.
your assertions. Yes,
It's not my
you're
problem.
the
You
one
guys are
the
making this claim
assertions.
with straight lines.
Who's y'all? You're the one saying
Y'all,
that-
ranty, conspiracy cats, roofie.
Do you claim they are not straight lines?
You guys have made this claim that they're
No,
not
no.
straight
Do you
lines
claim
with
they
the
are
black
not?
swan image.
Do you? That's how we see it, Jeremy. That's how we see things. Do you claim
What,
they
why
are
are you
not straight lines?
dancing? Do you know the difference between a line of sight and light bending? I'm just curious if you know the difference.
Yes, if there's an object in the far distance and the light's
Uh-huh.
bending, then that object isn't where it really is, correct?
If you're referring to whether or not it's displaced, that's entirely possible. But
Sure. So if I want to draw a straight line to this displaced object, so
Let
if I
me
want to
bring
draw a
up the
straight
light
line to this
bending, but
displaced
then let me
object,
say it's relevant. Which way
you
it
gotta let
bends,
me finish before
Jeremy,
you attack
Oh, I
something
thought you
else.
were done.
paraphrase.
That's why I said but.
You hear that?
But you have to give the qualifications at which that light is supposed to be bending to the point where the position of the object in the distance is far and away different from what it actually is.
No, I don't have to qualify it or quantify it
Yes,
at
you
all.
do.
Why?
Yeah, you do.
They're making the claims of straight lines. You need to quantify it.
They didn't make a claim of straight lines, dude. They just showed
They
you
drew
trigonometry.
straight lines to the mountaintop, bro. They did make a straight line claim. Are you
Because
high or
not-
something? Dude, maybe
Can I
let the
jump in real
Globers
quick?
handle this for people that
No,
who
Jeremy,
know what
is
they're
this-
arguing
hey,
about. You don't even know what we're
it's
arguing
just
about here.
The straight line is what
Sizes.
you see.
Super chat, another super chat. We're obviously doing something right, and the people like what they're hearing. This is again from Truth Nerds for €5. And he says, let me bring up light bending, but then let me say it's irrelevant which way it bends. Jeremy 2021 paraphrased. What do you say about that, Jeremy?
Yes, because if we know the light's bending, the whole claim is the light's bending. That's the Glober's main claim, light's bending. So once you've made that claim
Jeremy, are
that the
you
light's
denying
always
me?
been, hold on, I'm answering the super chat, bro.
Oh, yeah, go
Once
ahead.
they've made this claim that the light's bending, you now can't draw a straight line to the object because we know that object isn't where it is because the light's bent in between
Right.
us.
I think you got it backward, Jeremy. Jeremy, what we're talking about, we're not talking about what we're looking at in the picture and drawing a straight line to it. We're saying where it would be mathematically if the Earth was flat. And if it's not there, then we know that object has to be lower due to the light bending down. That's why it's
Lower, higher, maybe. Who knows? We know that it's not where that straight line is.
We
So,
do
right,
know.
Zanuck?
We do know when things are, when the light bends downward, that makes objects appear higher than they should be, based on simple geometry and trigonometry. So what we're not talking about drawing a straight line somewhere with bending light. As you said, you're right. Light bends, and Bearded agreed with you as well. What we're saying is that the light is bending downward. We know how far the object is, we know how tall it is, we know where it should be if we drew a straight line to it. It's not there, it's below that because the light was bending, or because the object, hold on, or because the object is on a curved surface. So you pick. We know what it should be. We know where it is. Now you have to discern what happened. And you're not going there.
So there we go. Now you have a very specific claim on how the light's bending. Do you know how we measure for if the light's bending?
Jeremy.
Rumpus does. You take refraction measurements through the optical corridor in the middle, above, and below.
Jeremy, do you know where the optical corridor is?
Do you have those measurements or no?
Because I'm pretty sure it's not at the top of the mountain. I'm pretty sure it's not at the top of the mountain.
Hold on, Bearded. Hold on. Let's let the flat earthers and the globers have at this. Zanuck, now you've made a claim of how the light's bending.
Somebody who's actually messed around with refraction instead of somebody who just worries about.
I'm addressing Zanuck's claim of bent down bending light.
Yeah,
we know that light. We know when light is refracted, it always moves.
Are you going to answer what I said or no?
Yes.
You're going to just make more baseless assertions.
When light is refracting, it's bending down toward the denser medium. Would you agree?
Okay, do you have measurements?
Would you agree? Would you agree? Would you agree? For what we know, about optics,
I don't agree. I don't agree.
You don't agree that light bends to a denser medium.
Nope.
You don't agree that light bends toward a denser medium. You're saying that right now in front of all of us. Showing your ignorance on the topic, by the way.
If I was to agree to that though, you know what you would need to prove that the denser medium is on the bottom? You would need refraction measurements all through the optical corridor.
Baby steps. You're way above your...
Hold on, Zanuck. Hold on.
You're way above your claim right now. Just baby steps. So you do agree that light bends toward the denser medium.
You've made a claim that the light is bending down. In order to know that the light's bending down, you would need refraction measurements consisting of temperature, pressure, and humidity readings all through your optical corridor. Do you have that for the black?
No, you don't. You do not need that. I mean, you
absolutely do. You better check with Rumpus once again.
You know. Hold on. If you're not at the surface, we know ubiquitously that the density of the air always goes down.
That's false.
As you get toward the ground. Yes.
Wait.
The gradient is always down.
Wait, Jeremy, are you saying that denser objects don't fall down?
I didn't say that.
Well, then you better make up your mind.
Can you show me an instance where the air is more dense as you go up in some corridor that you can find somewhere?
I don't know. Is cold air more dense than hot air?
Not always. Usually not.
Fine, let's get a citation. Hold on.
I am the citation.
No, you're not the citation.
Yes, I am the citation because I've already given the example. If you have a 90-degree day in Denver and a 32-degree day in San Francisco, which is going to have denser air?
Here we go. This is from...
You listening? I'm going to give you
This is from Columbia.
A couple of questions.
This is from Columbia.edu. Hold on, Zanuck. This is from Columbia.edu. Air has mass and density, and cold air is denser than warm air.
Well, it's pretty...
Do you need more citations, or...
Whoa.
Let me... So this is how science works. Hold on. You made a claim. Let's do a little mini version of science. So when I have a 32-degree day in Denver and a 90-degree day in Los Angeles, where's the denser air? You just told me warmer is less dense. So I gave you a scenario. It's 32 in Denver, and it's 90 degrees. Call it 100 degrees in LA. Where's the denser air, Jeremy?
Whichever one's colder, because cold air is denser than warm air.
No, absolutely wrong.
Temperature. I have a citation from Columbia.
Because you misread it, like you misread it and misunderstand.
It's one sentence. It says air has mass and density.
Okay, so if I can show you,
cold air is denser than warm air. That's the whole citation.
If I can show you that we have values, I can give you actual data that the density of the air in Denver at 32 degrees is less dense than a 100-degree day in LA. Will you concede? Because everybody
Are
knows
you
this.
saying
but you
cold
just-
air is
every
less
pilot
dense
on the
than hot air?
planet knows this, but you. Have you
Jeremy,
ever driven
So
a
you're
car?
now going
Have you
against
ever driven? Have
Colombia,
you ever driven a car?
saying that
Have you ever driven a car up in the mountains in your life?
Columbia is
Have
one of
you
the most
ever? Yeah,
prestigious
I don't.
colleges out
Fuck
there,
you in
right?
Colombia.
Hold on.
Have you ever driven a car in your life at altitude, up in the mountains, ever?
It's
Have you ever been in the
irrelevant.
mountains with a car?
It's also not about
Have
me.
you ever driven a car in the mountains, ever? Yes or
Are
no,
there
Jeremy?
even mountains in New York?
Have you been in the mountains in a car, ever?
Yes.
Was it cold?
Not
Maybe
relevant.
snow?
It's totally irrelevant, but yes.
No, it's not.
No,
It's very relevant.
Jeremy.
Highly
It's
irrelevant.
very relevant.
It's totally relevant.
If you are in your car on a very cold day, ice everywhere, snow everywhere, and you're at altitude and you floor the car, you will realize it's gutless. Why? Because the air density is less than even if you're at a 30-degree or 100-degree day at sea level.
Yeah, Jeremy, that you're trying to cherry pick saying that cold air is denser, but there's a very specific caveat to that. Where?
Yeah, planes fly at 30,000 feet, and it's very cold, negative 20 degrees at 30,000 feet. Why do planes go there if the air is denser? It'd be harder to move through, wouldn't it? They fly there, Jeremy, because it's less dense. There's less air mass up there per unit volume, less density at 30,000 feet. It's very cold. So you're wrong. Not because Columbia is wrong, because you're wrong. You're misinterpreting what you're reading. And that's a critical part of learning and educating yourself, is understanding what you're reading, not just reading it.
I mean, Jeremy, you can just look up why does it get colder as you get higher. I mean, it's strange that you don't connect the two.
Do you know why cold air goes down and hot air goes up?
So why don't the cold air go down, Jeremy?
Cold air does go down. Do you know why
No,
it
it
goes down?
doesn't.
Oh my God, Jeremy!
It always,
I
cold
can
air always
guarantee
goes
you
down.
it's
Do you know why?
cold
Jeremy,
here.
you're bucking on brain dead.
Come on, you guys are all spiraling right now. Do you know why
Jeremy,
cold air goes down?
Jeremy, is it
Hold on,
cold
simple
at
question
high
for the room.
altitude? Is it cold at high altitude where airplanes fly?
Do you know why cold air goes down, Chike?
I'm asking you a simple question.
I already
Jeremy. It's a
asked
yes
you
or
my
no.
question first.
It's a yes
The
or
air,
no.
the air at 30,000 feet does not go down, Jeremy, to answer your question. Colder does not always go down.
Cold
Jeremy-
air, listen, you're saying cold air doesn't always fall and hot air rises? Is that
No,
that's your claim now?
no, that's
Zannick?
not. No,
Jesus
that's
Christ,
not
man,
why
you
air
are
moves.
you are
I-
just
I
totally
wanna-
ridiculous
That's
today.
not why air. Why does the cold air from 30,000 feet fall
Hold
on?
on, Zanuck, Jeremy painted himself in a corner, and now he's trying to chew his way out. That's
Jeremy,
it. He's just
I
throwing
was in-
it out.
It's really it's amazing, Jeremy. You're not, because you either got to be one of the funniest, cutest little pose of all time, or you're just being really stupid.
Jeremy, I was in New York. I was in New York. Sweat my balls off. Went on the Empire State. It was freezing cold. Where is all that air that should go down?
Jeremy, it doesn't sound like you've thought this through very well.
Oh, he probably has.
Yeah, because you
And
need to
he's
be a
just
rocket
painting.
scientist to figure out that cold air goes down and hot air goes up.
Cold air doesn't
Jeremy-
go
Real
down.
fucking brilliant shit right here.
Cold air
Hold up,
doesn't go down.
Jeremy,
Where do you see cold air going down? Show me.
yeah, he's just throwing shit out there just so you can respond to it.
This is common knowledge, man. People know
How
this.
about
We've
Jeremy, let's say I have a refrigerator and on my desk, and I turn it on and it cools the air down inside that refrigerator. And then I open the door of the refrigerator. What does the air do? What would the air do if I open the freezer in this little refrigerator? What would you? And it was all frosty in there. What would you think that air would do? You can't answer that, can you? I'm helping you out a little bit here, Jeremy, if you haven't noticed.
You can't help me. You're already lost. You don't understand.
No, I'm not lost. I'm telling you that
cold air goes
cold,
down and hot air goes up.
if
You
you're,
can't, there's
what,
no
what is
going
the
past this
freezer?
point.
What is the freezer?
Like, there's no going past this
I'm
point
going to
with
give you
you.
two. I'm going to give you two scenarios. So now we have a freezer that's 32 degrees, and we have outside air that's room temperature, and you have it on your table in your kitchen, and you open the freezer. Where does that air go if you open the freezer box? It's a simple question, Jeremy. You shouldn't have all the answers. It should be easy.
He may not know what a freezer is.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking that too.
Yeah. Or ever seen a refrigerator or actually done any actual experiments or observations to test his own claims. Nothing like that.
Well, he's got the Google search there handy. Obviously, he's looking
Just
at.
go ahead, Chemo, because there's no talking to these guys. They're denying basic things about reality here. So
Well,
I
of
mean,
course,
there's
I mean,
really,
these are just,
there's really nowhere they're spiraling. I mean,
yeah, there's some of the tactics that they need to use to avoid the devastation that the Earth is not a globe and they've been lied to. Now, of course, if there is evidence of curvature, we're still looking for that evidence, obviously. Now, we had a lunar eclipse there yesterday, this week at the very least. And obviously, for an eclipse to work,
Chemo can't help Jeremy.
These celestial bodies would have to have gone beyond or below the geometrical physical horizon. Now, we all know, everyone here knows that there is no geometry. So how can the Earth be between the sun and the moon when the sun
You
doesn't
just
actually...
said it wouldn't be.
We all know the sun doesn't set beyond the horizon because it's apparent.
Uh-huh.
So how do globe earthers explain an eclipse on a flat Earth?
Chemo, why are you shifting the burden of proof on this one?
Because we've done our part. The ball
No, you
was
didn't.
in your court. You gave us a radius, 39.59. The ball was in our court. We went out there
I'm not a baller.
we went out there and we tried to locate that geometric physical horizon. We found out that there is none. Now the ball's in your court to explain how an eclipse, a lunar eclipse, would work on a flat Earth.
Chemo, that's literally shifting the burden of proof.
No, I've just said.
No, you didn't. I heard what you said. I heard you do the shifting.
No. So first of all...
Watch. This is how you did it. You've already claimed that the sun and the moon are over our heads, circling the flat Earth. You haven't... Have you? Yeah, you have. Okay. So,
what?
That's a claim. You're claiming
You're
that...
missing the logic here. Logic. So... We first said it was flat. Then the baller said no, we've measured it, we've got a radius. Bang, there's your 39.59. So now they were like, the ball's in your court, flat earthers, we've got a measurement. Nah. So we went out there.
That's not how that works either, dude. You might want to rethink that.
Yeah, it was flat, then a globe. Then we said it's flat, and they're like, we'll go out and test it then. So we went out and checked the 39.59. Turns out there is no 39.59. Then now the ball's in your court to explain how the eclipse works on a flat Earth.
That's again not how that works.
Why?
You're claiming you're claiming the Earth's flat. B, you're claiming that the sun and moon are above the flat Earth, right? They're hovering above the flat surface. So it would be on you to explain how an eclipse of any kind actually occurs on a flat Earth, but specifically a lunar eclipse.
Well, that's what we're asking, yeah.
No. That's the whole thing. That's shifting of the burden of proof.
It doesn't really affect you, though, because you never thought the Earth was 39.59 in the first place, right?
None of this is going to help you. I'm not a baller.
No, I'm saying this argument doesn't affect you. That's why you're asking for something else, because you're like, I never thought
not
the Earth
how
was...
that works either.
What?
I am asking you about the flat Earth.
No, that's what we're asking everyone. We're asking ball earthers. Join us. Join in this question and ask the ball earthers. We know the horizon's not physical. No, the sun is not.
Don't put it on them. Stop.
Question. Ball earthers aren't going to answer a question that flat earthers don't know the answer to.
Look, we know the horizon does not.
It isn't hot potato. Don't care about horizons. You got to explain to me how a lunar eclipse can occur if the sun and the moon are hovering above the Earth.
Oh, we don't have a model.
I didn't ask for a model, did I?
So how are we going to know how it works unless we model it?
I asked you to explain it.
You don't have a model.
You've given. Didn't ask for a model.
How can it be explained without a model?
Well, you use your words for one, and then if you have
make it up.
Evidence, if you have evidence.
I just said my evidence would be a model.
No, I didn't ask for a model. Try again.
That would be evidence.
Not really.
What else would be evidence?
Come on.
Well,
dude, you got video, you got some kind of, you got to have physical evidence.
A video? We're going to see what we already saw. With the video, we will see what we already saw. So there's no point to want a model to explain it on a flat Earth.
Why? Hold up. Why?
Globers want a model.
I don't give a shit. I'm asking
for
you.
some reason, that's a priority for them, this model.
Don't care.
I do.
That excuse doesn't work, Chemo.
Well, if we tell them that the Earth is not a globe, then they can start thinking about how it works on a flat Earth.
Well, I've thought about it.
Not long enough.
So where do you go from there? I've thought about how any of your claims would work. I've tested flat Earth claims. So I'm curious, though, how would how would the moon's phases even work on a flat Earth?
I would like to know too. We need a model if you want to answer those things.
No, that's not how that works either. You don't have a model beforehand.
Yes.
You
suppose the flat Earth, because you haven't seen all of it. Suppose the size of the sun and the moon.
You're saying that the flat Earth part is a presupposition?
Because you don't know how big it is.
What does size have to do with whether or not it's flat?
It would need to work everywhere.
That made no sense.
Some things work in the northern area than it is in the southern area.
Why would they be different?
Distortion.
I'm sorry, what distortion?
That's why we can't model it. The longitude.
Hold on. Whoa, wait. You made a claim, Chemo. What distortion are you talking about?
The longitude and latitude lines.
What are you talking about? You're saying I can go outside and find some lines drawn on the Earth?
What, ley lines? Yeah.
Oh, you think they're ley lines? And you think those are literally drawn on the Earth? You might want to rethink, or at least do a little more research on what ley lines are supposed to be.
Look.
Before you make that claim.
2 + 2 is 5. Anything to make you feel smarter, better, and human again. Can we get the evidence of a globe?
Why are you worried about fairy tale according to you? I'm asking you about a flat Earth that's supposed to be reality. Why are you denying reality?
Okay, so look, in order to explain the flat Earth, you would need full exploration. You understand that?
No, because there are tons of aspects that you can actually see for yourself.
No, that's not true.
Yes, it is.
Like what?
Well, virtually everything.
Like what?
Tell me something that you can't.
It cannot be done unless you have full exploration.
Says who?
Says me.
And you're who?
One of the leaders of the new school.
Not really.
Yes,
because
really.
You regurgitate old bullshit. So I don't know how that's new.
No, we're the leaders of the new school. The new school is flat Earth.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much you polish a turd. It's still a turd, Chemo.
Yeah, and that's what you're providing with the globe every day.
I'm not a glober. Try again.
Well, you're pretending. You got sugar on it then, haven't you?
No, try again.
Yeah, there is sugar on that stuff. And you're like, I'm
Nope.
not really a glober, but if we remove the sugar, what do we see?
I've never claimed, Chemo, I've never claimed to be a glober. I've never claimed to be a baller. So I don't come to these discussions defending a globe.
So
I never have and never will.
what's the shape of the Earth then?
Earth shape, try again. So
what is
you're
that?
saying that it's supposed to be
Earth
flat.
is not Earth
You're
shape is
saying
not
it's
an
supposed to be
Earth. It's
flat.
not a shape.
You're saying it's supposed to be flat.
And you're saying it's Earth shape.
Sure. Is
Okay.
the Earth shape,
How does
is
Earth
it
shape
flat?
work? How does Earth shape work?
According to you, it's flat.
How does an eclipse work on Earth shape?
You tell me.
You said it was Earth shape. How does it work on Earth shape?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
saying that the Earth is flat.
And you're saying it's Earth
Therefore,
shape.
the Earth shape would be flat.
Flat is
So
not a shape.
please, by all means,
Flat is
explain
not a
to me.
shape. Now, how does the eclipse work on
Huh?
Earth shape?
Why are you can't do it, can you? You can't talk about the flat Earth.
Because we don't have a model. You have a model for
No
Earth
one's
shape.
anything
So
about
how does
model.
Earth shape work?
I don't live on a model.
You live on Earth
I don't-
shape. How does it work? Oh, it just booted me.
Yeah, we're back now.
I'll be back now. Where were we? Oh yeah, he lives on Earth shape. Can't explain lunar eclipses on Earth shape. Can't explain what the measurements are on Earth shape. Oh, got it again. Something wrong with Discord. Everybody out in and out of the room. Slowly we'll be back. Oh, here we go. Back now. Back now.
Yeah, Discord's shit to bed today.
Yeah.
What the hell is on today?
We're having some technical right now, but working very.
Is it everybody or just people on their phones?
Oh, I have no idea. I have no idea.
On the phone.
But we're back. We're back. We're here trying to find out the shape of the Earth, the nature of the Earth. Does anyone have any information concerning the Earth? Very hard to come by days. Now, flat earthers have a clue when it comes to where we live, and there is no curvature to support the century model whatsoever. So we're trying to figure out how the flat Earth model works, even though it's a reification. Misplaced concrete that globe Earthers want, then we will try deliver.
Well, making a map isn't reification, but acting as if the map were the terrain would be reification. But making a map isn't reification.
Right, hot background.
Sorry, I was sorry for that.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, look, we're always going to ask, and we're always going to search. There's going to come a time when the globe earther realizes, hey, I just can't do it. I can't do this anymore. I'm sick of being asked for something they can't deliver. And that's pretty much the goal, because obviously we want the next generation to realize that they're not going to born and waste their lives studying something that doesn't exist. The sooner we can do that, the better for mankind, for things. But of course, if we are on a globe, that globe must have curvature to it. no way that the Earth cannot have measurable curvature. There must also be gravity. That is a must. Without gravity, the whole model falls apart. Need that force.
Kimo, who the fuck are you talking to?
We are live now from Fate, Flat Earth, and more.
Yes, I know. Who are you talking to? With your monologue diatribe.
I'm now talking to a rocket scientist. Can you believe that, ladies and gentlemen? This is a real rocket scientist. This is the guy who sends rockets into outer space. Outer space, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe there was a place called outer space? So, rocket scientists, give us the lowdown, the breakdown on outer space. How are the latest rockets doing up there?
Just
the latest rockets doing up there. Wow, what a stupid question.
Well, what's going on? What's happening in the rocket world? Give us the latest news. What do you have any latest designs? Do you have any? What's the future of rocketry?
Before the rockets, I want to remind the audience that if our life depended on flat earthers, we would all be dead now.
So give us the latest news on the rockets, rocket scientists. You are a rocket scientist. I mean, how often does a person get to speak to a rocket scientist? Or even hear a rocket scientist. So tell us, what is the latest situation with outer space? How far can we take these rockets? How far can we travel? Do we have any plans of going beyond Mars, further? What's going on, rocket scientists?
I don't know. Go where I look. It's called spacenews.com.
Mm-hmm.
Or space.com.
Mm-hmm.
Go on, have a look.
Okay.
That's awesome.
What, is that it? Is that it, rocket science? Okay, so, yeah, I mean, the people want to know, how can they be sure that the rockets are actually going into space? Rocket science.
Good question, Kimo.
I mean, if you want to ask
where do you think
specific.
they're going, Kimo? If they're not going to space, where do you think they're going?
Well, I and many others believe they're going up a little way and then just crash landing into the ocean somewhere.
Right, because that's what we do. We just spend millions of dollars on a mission just to have something crash into the ocean.
Well, being as you're a rocket scientist, how do they have a vacuum next to the gas pressure there?
We don't. That's not the model.
So we live in gas.
We don't have 14.7 psi next to 0. It doesn't work that way.
How does it work?
So
rocket
Earth's atmosphere
scientist.
goes.
Oh, go ahead, Jeremy.
Earth's atmosphere.
Jeremy wants to speak to the rocket scientist, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe it? We have an actual, real, live rocket scientist here. Sorry, Jeremy. Go ahead. Take it away.
I mean, is he saying Earth's atmosphere goes forever throughout their never-ending universe?
Jeremy, you want to ask me a question? I fucking hate it when people do that. You want to ask a question, ask, but don't try to put words in my mouth or try to twist things around into your favor.
All right. When does Earth's atmosphere end? Have a good night, Mike. I'll see you later.
When we decide, Jeremy. We say 100
When will you decide?
When we decide, it's no more atmosphere.
When does that happen? I'm asking. That's exactly my
Put the line wherever you want. Wherever you want.
Well, so it's arbitrary.
Kármán line has always been arbitrary.
So the Earth's atmosphere ends at the Kármán line, or what's up? When does the gas pressure? Does the Earth's gas pressure go forever, or does it stop?
No, it never decreases to 0, and it depends on where you want to arbitrarily stop. Whatever it's relevant to. So
Earth's atmosphere goes forever.
Well, that's why
space.
That's why the Kármán line is used, is because for most anything that anybody's ever talking about, the Kármán line is a good line to say, okay, this is where
they're not answering the question.
It is answers to the questions. Yeah. The question is, does the atmosphere go forever? If you want it to, it can. You can define a line. You can not define a line. It's up to you. There's particles out there. There's nowhere where it's 0 pressure. Absolutely.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to.
You're saying Earth's atmosphere goes forever.
Yeah, Jeremy.
That's your claim, right? Earth's atmosphere goes forever. It never ends.
You're just repeating what somebody just said, man. I'm trying to finish what I was saying, which is that's one place to find the line. is where it's relevant to most things. Another place would be when they say it's past the moon, is because that's another position where relevant to certain fields. There's particles up there that are still influenced by the Earth, so they say that those particles are still part of our atmosphere. But like I said, it's all arbitrary. Depends on what you're defining.
Sure, I understand. The claim is that Earth.
You're breaking up a little bit, Jeremy. But we are here, if you've just joined, we are here live from Debate Flat Earth and More. We have a rocket scientist in our midst. If you have any questions for the rocket scientist. You hear me, Jeremy? You're breaking up still, Jeremy. Breaking up a little bit, Jeremy. Real bad, real bad. But try and sort that out, and then we can get some more questions to the rocket scientist from you. But rocket scientists, we want to know about space travel. What is the future of space travel? What are the new devices? Is it possible to go out of space, and what's preventing us from doing so?
What's preventing us from making further advancements is idiot fucktards like you who sit here and pretend that these scientific advancements do not happen. It's people like you who are preventing society from moving forward and thinking better and stronger. But no, you have to sit here and have these ridiculous conversations. And you drag people like me into them because I'm sitting here having it with you.
Yeah, but you are the expert. People do look up to you, rocket scientists. And they are curious about what a rocket scientist...
Blah, blah, blah. You're just doing this to get some content for your show, aren't you, Kimo?
No, we are live right now here from Debate Flat Earth and More.
Yes, it's live every single fucking day, Kimo. It's nothing new from any other day.
But we have 40 viewers live now, very interested in a rocket scientist. Because remember, a lot of flat earthers do not believe in space, as I do not believe in space. So
right, because all flat earthers are fucking retards. That's why.
No, we are very curious individuals. We want to know, how does a rocket fly without atmosphere?
Any education or any idea or take a first year calculus course, you would know.
No, we're not we're not rocket scientists. Me, Kosho,
Jeremy. You don't need to spend years in grad school like I have to understand rocketry or space travel or orbital mechanics.
Timo, have you been told before how a rocket's going to space? Was it explained to you before?
Multiple times, not the first time.
No, I'm asking him. I want him to. I know him.
I've heard, different ways that rockets may or may not work, but
no. Was it explained to you how they do work, not how they don't work?
No. What was explained was a principle that was very difficult to understand. So hopefully, the rocket scientists can shed light on that difficult understanding of rockets in space. We have another super chat. We're flying today. So this is to Jeremy. Be ready. Jeremy, I have 2 identical containers of gas at the same temperature and different pressure. Is the density the same in the containers? That is from Phil Nye, the physics guy, for $5 US. Jeremy, over to you.
He's asking if the pressure is...
Oh, let me run that by you again, Jeremy. Okay,
yeah,
so
run that back.
Let me run that back to you. So this is from Phil Nye, the physics guy, for US $5, and he says, Jeremy, I have 2 identical containers of gas at the same temperature and different pressures. Is the density the same in the containers?
No, I would expect the one with more pressure to be more dense.
Okay, you want to elaborate a little bit more for Phil Nye, the physics guy?
I mean, if they're the same temperature and different pressure, one of them is going to be more dense. The one with the higher pressure is probably going to be more dense.
So they're not the same density, the containers, right?
No.
Okay, there you go, Phil Nye, the physics guy. That is your answer. And we have another super chat. This is from Truth Nerds for €2. It says, Flurfs, why can't the U-2 fly above 80,000 feet? Guess
Like
that's to
Bono?
me. I guess that's to Jeremy. I would say yes. Wherever there is air, truth no. Wherever there is air, any aircraft can fly anywhere there is air. Yeah, Jeremy, you got an opinion on this?
Well, I mean, according to the Globers, the air goes forever. That's what their claim is. The gas from Earth goes out everywhere forever into an ever expanding universe. So I mean,
That's not the complete claim, though, is it?
Good question.
That's not the complete claim, though, is
I
it?
think that's a good
To make
question
it
for the Globers.
to make it very
Maybe the Globers should answer that one.
to make it very clear, that's not the complete claim, though, is it? It's the claim is that the pressure decreases. Yes, there's always particles. The pressure, the density, they all decrease.
Yeah, Jeremy, this is the reason why I gave the explanation I gave, saying that it depends on how you're defining it and what it's relevant to. And when you start to describe it as being relevant to where aircraft can fly, then you're gonna have it's very important where you define where the atmosphere is and what it decreases to and all that kind of stuff. So there's obviously a limit to where aircraft, planes that use lift to fly, there's a limit to how high they can go.
And to add on that, most of those particles never been near Earth. So don't say air from Earth. It's not air from Earth, it's gas particle in space.
Okay, so I hope that answers your question there. Truth Nerds, thank you very much for that super chat. So yeah, we had the rocket scientists. It goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, that you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that you need air to have an aircraft fly. Common sense will tell you that a vacuum requires a container. Common sense will tell you that gas pressure requires a container. Common sense will tell you that gas pressure cannot coexist adjacent to a low pressure. So, rockets.
What?
Sorry? Yes, it can.
Could you repeat that?
Oh my goodness, we have another super chat. Sorry, Davros, we're going to get right back to you right after this. This is from Phil Nye, the physics guy. This is US $5. Jeremy, get ready. This is for you. Jeremy, are you here? Are you with us? Jeremy. Have you fixed
Might be mopping the floor.
Jeremy, we're going to read it anyway, but we probably get it later on if don't answer it now. So, Jeremy, will you retract your previous assertion that cooler air is always denser than warmer air?
Well, I mean, in his example, he had the containers the same temperature.
Will you retract, Jeremy? We're going to have to put you under pressure. The clock is ticking. Tick, tock, tick. No,
in his example, he had the containers the same temperature, so.
But what about the air in there?
His previous super chat has already indicated to you, if you paid attention, that it's a more complicated relationship: temperature, pressure, and density.
Hey, Davros, how long has this chemo dipshittery been going on for? Not years, I mean just this morning, to be more clear.
I started listening about 45 minutes ago, and it's still going now, so...
Can I ask for a favor? Can you, stay on them and then call them a dipshit once in a while? I gotta take the kids over to a medical doctor's appointment.
Of course.
Say hello to the
Non-super chat here, Chemo. This is me owing Jem some money when I can afford to pay him some more. You're a dipshit.
Yeah, let's not make up the super chats, though. Not make them up.
Oh, it's just an opinion. It's just an opinion.
So, I mean, as usual, the flat earthers...
Censoring my opinions there, Chemo.
Not a super... We're told a fib.
No, I said when I get some money, I will owe Jem a super chat.
Back away from the microphone.
I'm allowed to... No! Who are you? Not my fault. Everyone else has shitty audio.
Your mic is too high.
It's not my fault. Everyone has shitty audio. I've got this thing at 75%.
Yeah, stop
Listen.
talking into the mic. Back away from it.
I'm hearing right. What do you want from me?
It's not about me.
Your mic is too loud.
Then turn me down.
It sounds fine to me for what it's worth.
Yeah, it's distorting. That's the only issue.
Well, it's not on YouTube.
That wasn't me, by the way. That wasn't
so
me.
funny.
Don't start blaming me, alright? So, as we proceed... I don't know why you just didn't just sort it out.
Before, Kimon, why you keep telling these lies? I already showed you lower pressure adjacent to higher pressure in my room. Why do you need to say we never see it?
Hold on, wasn't this for Jeremy? Jeremy was talking about the pressure and stuff.
No, it was for you, because you said we don't see high pressure adjacent to low pressure, and I showed you this in my room.
No, we're talking about space. Space, the vacuum
You don't
of space.
see it because you don't want to see it. Not because it doesn't exist.
No. We were talking about a rocket. How can a rocket fly with no air? But you guys have already said air is everywhere, yeah?
You can go back on YouTube and hear what you said. And you said we don't see high pressure adjacent to lower pressure. You said we don't, and I showed you before we do.
No. Again, the gas would fill the space, no?
And our atmosphere doesn't do that, does it?
Doesn't.
Why wouldn't it do that?
Don't ask me.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter why. In our case, in your case, you're making a claim that it should, and it doesn't.
God made it so.
Okay, we're getting into a circus again now, okay, guys? We need to stay focused, okay? And the serious question is, how is the vacuum of space next to the gas without the gas filling the space?
There's not
Look at the damn atmosphere.
This thing says the higher pressure at my floor does not go up to the ceiling.
Yeah,
I don't need
it's
to
not
know
a defined
how.
line, is it?
I don't know how, but I know it's the same way.
Yeah, I don't know what you're saying there. Talking about
I'm saying
space, talking about the
I
gas
have
in
lower
the
pressure
atmosphere.
above my head. I have lower pressure above my head, higher pressure at my feet.
There's no such thing as a pressure gradient. You can't have pressure next to pressure.
You tell me I can't when I measure it, David?
No, you can't.
Pressure next to pressure.
You can't. All pressure has to be equal if it's in the same space.
Dallas, go ahead and get a barometer and then adjust to reality, please.
A barometer's in a container.
Cool. It also measures the pressure of our atmosphere, right?
No, it measures the water gas in the atmosphere.
Negative.
Negative.
Why do I have so much water gas at my feet than I have above my head?
How would a barometer measure nitrogen?
Okay, man, you got to say
pressure.
How would it measure oxygen?
David,
You got
Pressure.
to remember in your communist school of training, you've been taught that nitrogen makes up 78% of the atmosphere and oxygen 21%. So that's like 99%, and water gas is the other 1%. So they've conned you into believing these scientific situations like your ball Earth that just have no reality to them. Because if you think about it with common sense, it'll blow your mind. You'll actually be a scientist then. Thank you very much.
Common sense tells us we should actually measure things before making claims out of common sense.
You cannot have pressure gradient. How can you pressurize something and have a gradient in it? Makes no damn sense when you air your tire up. If it's
You
got
shut
10
up,
pounds in it,
David. You
it's got
lie,
10
you
pounds,
lie,
it's
you
got 12
lie.
pounds in
You
it,
know you can
if it's
do it.
got 15, you can't do it. You're liars. All your are bald face, air pressure liars.
What's Bobo doing?
Why is he yelling? Why is he yelling at me? What did I do?
Bobo is sitting here panting because it's 90 degrees in Texas today.
The pressure's pretty high.
I think he's got sweat.
There's no pressure, but there's a lot of water gas in the air.
I don't like it.
Why is there water gas in the air? Why is there so much of it at your feet?
Because water gas is less dense.
Yeah,
No, it's
why
just Dave ate burritos.
your feet?
What you got to do is you got to show me how they prove to you what air is. Once you figure out that air is not what they told you, then you'll have the ability to contemplate the situation.
What are you talking about, David?
Dallas, you are all kinds of fucked up.
Google. All you got to do is Google what is air.
You hear him smiling when he says that.
Yeah, but that just tell you like the mixture of gases that supposedly make up air.